Hi, I'm Mr. Burrows, and today we're going to talk about lesson plans, specifically with a focus on introductions. To start, I wanted to talk about bell ringers and warm-ups. I like to call them a warm-up. I know people call them bell ringers because they start when the bell rings, which is great, but to me, it should really start before the bell rings. Students, you want them in the classroom, sitting down, ready to go, even before the bell rings. And I like the idea of a warm up because, again, to me, they help the students' brain warm up like a muscle would, just like athletes warm up before a game or practice or anything like that. Students need to warm up before they, really get into a lesson or the learning process. Good warm ups and good bell ringers, they have these characteristics. They engage students. They help students really just interested in what you're about to learn. Has some sort of inquiry. And they have activating strategies. These are things that get students' brains start going as far as critical thinking. It helps students really dive deeper into content or to think, outside the box about something they normally wouldn't. And hopefully it reviews prior knowledge or connects to some sort of relevancy. A bell ringer doesn't have to have a binary, answer where it's, what is 1 + 1 and the answer is 2. Everybody would have the same answer. It's kind of boring. All I need to do then is just copy off someone to get it. What you really want to do is know, what does that individual student know about this subject? Sometimes it's hard depending on the content you're teaching, but you could, think outside the box, which I'm about to show you. So open-ended questions, these are, your most basic form of a warm-up or a bell ringer. These are questions that, when done well, every student can answer, no matter what they know about the topic. So this one, for example, to what extent would a revolution happen in Anson? Students would probably need that scaffolded. You would want to define what a revolution is, but everybody has an opinion about where they live, be it good, be it bad. This is a question that you then can build into your lesson. Maybe it's about like the American Revolution, for example. Open-ended questions, when done well, they also allow every student to have a voice. A question that alienates students, you're also going to then not involve that student, and that's not good. So this is another example of a bell ringer. It's a little bit differently, something that has the students do a task, but that task is a little bit more open-ended. So this has students ranking these different events in order of importance. You could make this in math or science or English, something very similar where they're ranking or putting in order based on what they think. And there's no right or wrong answer here. This allows students, if you wanted to, you could put them in a group. They could talk about their answers. Every student should be able to do this. And then maybe they need to defend this. So this gets that critical thinking skill of analysis. They need to know why they said, this one is one and this one's the last one. And that's a really good conversation for the teacher to start digging deeper into the whys. And between the open-ended questions and this, the conversation is really endless on where you want to go to it as a teacher. But what I encourage you to do is try to hear the voice of every student and really just, assess what they know. Where are they at? And is this something that is exciting for them? Here's another example of a bell ringer or warm-up you can do. This is a little bit non-traditional. As the students come in the room, you could give them a piece of paper. Each piece of paper identifies that student with a a category of some sort. So for example, if they're doing some sort of science thing with biomes, the students could come in, you can assign them a different flora and a fauna, and every student has a graphic organizer. Maybe you give a time limit and you say, go. The students have to go around, they have to find someone with those characteristics, that flora, that fauna, and match it into their biome or what have you. It could be a different kind of scavenger hunt matching game. Maybe, half the class has the problem for math and the other half have the answers, and they got to seek each other out with the right, content. Or maybe it's something a little bit more abstract where the students for math, are different characteristics of a problem, like parallel or linear or whatever, and they have to go find someone where they can fit in with that person so they're a match, kind of like magnetic match there. But the scavenger hunt in its basic form, it gets students up around the room and it helps them look to each other for answers instead of the teacher. This engages everybody. It's a good way to, activate that brain of theirs by getting oxygen to the brain, by getting them up using the kinetic energy. But it also gets everybody a voice. So now they're seeking each other out for, learning opportunities instead of just the teacher. So in summation, bell ringer, and I can show a little bit more, an introduction in the lesson plan. It should be something, again, that engages students, gets them ready to learn, but it shouldn't be something that's 20 minutes long. It should be a really quick process, the introduction. It should hook your students into your lesson, and it should ease them in, kind of like an appetizer for the meal. If you eat way too much, then you're not going to be able to consume your meal. No way you're getting to desserts, right? So your appetizer, it should be something tasty, something you really want, but it should leave you wanting more, something that you're going to need out of your body. All right, have a great day.